just looking now. It's not loading.
Still says waiting. I'm not sure what that means.
It might take just a few seconds.
Now it's
I'm just
working.
looking
Now
now.
it's working.
Yeah, okay. It's probably a few seconds behind, but that's normal. All right, so well, while we wait for the rest, let me first introduce myself. So I'm Erwin Arroyo. I am the founder of the Poetry Lighthouse. I'm so happy to be here with all of you right now and to see all of you, um, your faces finally, not just through the poems. Um, Thank you so much for all the trust and your support for all of these months. It has been really a journey. I have started this because of my great passion for poetry, and I just wanted to share it with more people, and so the idea of the Poetry Lighthouse came around. Um, so thank you everyone for coming today. This is a very special time to celebrate poetry and the arts. And obviously, congratulations to every single one of you because you have made it to the short list and the long list. So yeah, well, without more to say, let us start with Levi, who's going to, he's one of our editors, and she's going to do the introduction for the Poetry Prize. So I will yield the floor to Libby.
Hello, thank you, Erwin. I'm sorry, I just stuck in my jacket. I've just come from a festival. So, anyways, thank you for all joining here today. So obviously I wanted to start by saying a massive thank you to Erwin, since he very much is the driving force behind the Poetry Lighthouse and sort of why we're all here today, essentially together, which is lovely. So yeah, thank you also to everyone for being part of the community and submitting your work and making, what it is. But I stumbled upon the Poetry Lighthouse on Instagram last November, and that's when I became one of the editors. And I've kind of, really been embraced as part of the team, which has been really lovely. It's all been, everyone's been welcoming, and we've worked on some exciting projects. So we've obviously got, the prize and the upcoming paperback anthology as well, which will be you'll be hearing details about today. And yeah, it's been a real process for me as well, just learning about the editing process, editing people's poetry, which is very different from editing your own. And I'm sure anyone who's worked with me knows that like I can be quite pedantic, but that's also been a learning curve. And I think writing, what's really special about it is it can be, such a beautiful collaboration between more than one person, and that's what can make it really special. And I'm always sort of inquisitive and curious about where a piece of writing can go, and exploring those limits. And as I'm sure we'll probably end up mentioning again, but we are actually looking for volunteer editors. So from my perspective, I highly recommend giving it a go, even if it's something that's, new to you. If you love words and you love poetry, it's been really a rewarding experience. So I definitely recommend that. But yeah, without further ado, we'll sort of proceed with the evening's events. And yeah, once again, I hope all of you enjoyed tonight. Congratulations to everyone who submitted and got involved. And it's been a pleasure to work with all of you, the team and the writers themselves. So yeah.
Right, excellent. I just wanted to second everything Libby said. So I'm Alex, by the way. I'm one of the editors at the Poetry Lighthouse. So I got involved sort of when Owen started up, and I've been loving it ever since. And so just before we get started, when you guys recite your own poetry, some of us editors will recite poetry of ours or poetries that we find particularly inspiring or that we like a lot. So to start off, I think it's only fitting that we start with Owen himself. He's going to be reciting for us English is My Second Language. So Owen, take it away.
Well, thank you very much. So I wrote this poem 2 years ago, and I hope it speaks to you. So it's called English is My Second Language. English is my second language. You already know that. Yet you still laugh when I say sheep instead of ship, which sounds similar to cheap, but those mistakes are rather expensive. Sometimes when you ask me, how are you? I stand there, hypnotized, in the middle of a deserted road, in Ça va bien. Then I take a petit détour down the Estoy bien, to finally arrive at I am fine. You think I'm a slow thinker. Sorry, do you think I'm a slow thinker? Because in my mind there are thousands of switches and buttons and levers, which I try to control when my tongue is not on automatic mode. When the English teacher calls my name, I know it's my turn to talk, but I stand there in the middle of a deserted road in J'ai rien compris. I find an English shortcut down I have nothing understood, but end up saying I understood nothing. That didn't sound natural to my teacher. It only sounds natural to me. Next time I'll just respond, I don't know. When I asked you for una manzana, I meant the sweet red round-shaped thing that falls from trees. No, I did not ask for an apple. For me, that's just a drawing of a manzana. Sometimes in the mornings, I get close to you, so I can smell your flowery eau de toilette. I linger over your shoulder for a while. You smell better in French, by the way. You love taking me to Paul's Bakery just to hear me say croissant. When we went out to a bar or a pub, I would order piña colada. Your ears always stuck to my lips. You said you liked the sound of it. Those days are gone. Now you get ashamed when I forget a word. You avoid taking me out because I might forget how to say te quiero and claim I've lost my track of thought. Now you get mad at me when I don't speak correcto. Yet I have warned you I am not perfecto, because I've always tread lightly among the borders of my memories. So don't tell me I'm not proficient, because I am fully efficient. Last night you came back home, reddened. You screamed at me in English. Of course, little did you know that only Spanish can prick my skin with 1,000 needles. Only Spanish has the sharpness to cut through my flesh, and yet you saw my blood drip in English. You can plaster my face with papier mâché. I don't care. You can even draw a mustache on. Why not? But before it's my turn to talk, give me a minute to unfurl my tongue and match your tone. Let me turn the switch back on as long as the English air can flow through my Mexican lungs. I hope that one day I find my voice, and therefore I have 3 voices. One to love, one to talk, one to attack, one to cook, one to smell, one to act. At times, I feel them all in my mouth, like spicy chocolate chicken crepe. At times, I feel the 3 of them locked in a safe, to be safe from the shame, until I forget where I'm from, until I forget who I am. At times, I forget them all at once, a useless mouth, empty of morphemes, and I stand there, hypnotized, in the middle of a deserted road. Thank you.
Amazing. Excellent. I think we could also, that was, yeah, I remember the first time reading that, and it was a very powerful poem then, and it's still a powerful poem now. So yes, so we'll invite James now to read out his poem, his selected poem.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to read a more recent poem I wrote. It's called On the Seashells Hold Tongue, Fernhill, and this is kind of about where I'm from in like South Wales and my ex and how I can't think about and like map the place without thinking of our memories. So yeah. Land of my fathers can keep it, cried Dylan Thomas, son of the sea, at the conch's course so, stinging the wind with American death. His tomb watched spring days your nine's Fernhill, and as his words dim in the Bristol cruiser's smoke, my needling fingers chart your gums. There's no truth in the ringed peaks of your mouth's north, yet the tremors of Nostar surge from your tongue, and they glow as my Polaris when I paddle through Penart's murky waters, so I can map the dips in your breath's coastline, the past wobbles in your loose front tooth. You first lost it playing bulldog as a kid. If history is that concrete wall you hit by the old school, we'll pluck its molars from the stone beach and toss them out to sea. And when we reach the pier, we'll watch tides baptize the new race encrusted from our blood's flood. Inde genus juram sumus experiensque laborum, et documenta damus qui simus norigine nati. We'll laugh if they're born twice, like we do when your twin drinks, then slurs some 60s ode to English gardens. He takes after your mother, but with slimmer thighs. Still, they quicken in swigs of Tesco white wine. Once she glimpsed me, then shuffled your childhood photos to cast a tarot curse. But I watched you grow in the black ink's dead light and wondered how many lives you've lived. With your left eye always bent inside, did you know you would find me every time? Or did it take the poplar's pierced shade, blood-stained in the bracken's sun, for you to catch the grass snake's hiss? We'd string crushed cider cans to its carcass if the end meant our ghosts could still talk through the walls. Meet at Lavenock Spa, they whispered, each sunset just before the off-license closed. When the moon glowed, we gathered twigs as herons yelped through the reeds, and the bonfire's flames aged the smoky mulch by the lake. I prayed to see you grow from bow-broken blue to the blaze breathing the breeze, so midges could suckle the years left beneath our flesh until they were gods, well fed. We'd only mute the speaker in the flare of police sirens. How many songbirds fly to and then stand as still as the trees. Outside mold branched panes, your father saw grits its fangs before barking down the crunch of autumn leaves. To this day, your hands shake on the wheel. Is it from his bite that winter night, Central Square etched deep into your icy veins? When you look back in the traffic mirror, do you see the bloodied body of the BBC broadcaster he beat there? Or did the spear's snowflakes melt on his bruises? Stop, please. I swear I'm not gay. Now when his Toyota truck pulls out of the front drive, I lead you into the rosy sunrise, and I kiss you as my boy who shines, and the round gutter leaks. Next April, I'd read The Peaches when George drove us across Swansea Bay. You said, bold to write about Wales with the letters that mark her open grave. But I write about you, I said. Is that not enough? The engine droned on through the traffic until we reached Mumbles, where the pier's planks caved in like a shattered rib cage. A coracle could never beach upon these heart-thrashed bones. God in the Abbey said no, his gooch had rusted with the blood of Welsh Adams. So the gulls circled the independent chip shops like vultures to salt their beaks with the sizzles of oily fryers, the tourist palm sweat on Brand's change, and the waves wet taunting on the Severn breeze. They holler at us until we taste Port Talbot's fumes and watch the white sand collapse into the shadows of a mine, whose hourglass drains the grains. Your pupils char too, and blood blooms through your tears, yet your eyes could still meet me, and I could fall like an apple from the sprig snap to the grassy bow shade, trusting you to catch me each time. Mine, oh, mine? I've held on to the seashells we collected. They lie on my bookshelf between candles and English anthologies. They'll pass to my children, echoing Fern Hill, when you're a drowned mollusk and I'm a New York hospital ward. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. And Libby, would you like to offer your poem now?
Yeah, sure. Those were both such beautiful poems, firstly. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that. Absolutely stunning. Mine's a bit shorter, and it's called Lawn Games, and it's about my dog. Our dog Bruno barks and pants in anticipation of someone throwing his favorite toy. Sometimes we entertain this tedious game, other times we scold him, shooing him away. But Bruno persists. The effort is worth it. I see joy when he jumps to catch his toy mid-air, bringing it back, nuzzling it towards us. A silent animal desperation that we understand. Isn't that what we all do? Say, throw life to me under the oak trees, that God has tired arms. Thank you.
Excellent. Poems about a dog are always a win. Maeve, would you like to cite your poem now?
Yeah, amazing work right now, everyone. I'm not even going to attempt to try and follow that up with some creative work of my own. But I will read from one of my favorite poets. Most of you may know her from Wuthering Heights, famed author. And since I'm coming to you from York, I thought I would read some of her work because she's one of my favorites. I'm going to be reading Love and Friendship by Emily Bronte because I think it really speaks to the heart relationships and friendships, and just really speaks to me, really. Love is like a wild rose briar. Friendship is like the holly tree. The holly is dark when the rose briar blooms, but which will bloom most constantly. The wild rose briar is sweet in spring. Its summer blossoms scent the air. Yet wait till winter comes again, and who will call the wild rose briar fair? Then scorn the silly rose wreath now, and deck thee with the holly's sheen, that when December blights thy brow, he still may leave thy garland green.
Lovely. And I think as I've dragged all my other editors into reciting poems, it's only fair that I do as well. Unfortunately, I have not been blessed with much poetic talent of my own. My focus tends to be on sort of fiction, short stories, that kind of thing. But I do love when the two mix, and obviously I love reading poetry and trying to edit it every now and then as I can. So I've chosen to do a poem or a poetic section from my favorite book, which is A Canticle for Leibowitz by Walter M. Miller Jr. So I've entitled the poetic section, We Are the Centuries. So, we are the centuries. We have your eoliths and your mesoliths and your neoliths. We have your Babylons and your Pompeys, your Caesars and your chromium-plated, vital ingredient impregnated artifacts. We have your bloody hatchets and your Hiroshimas. We march in spite of hell, we do. Atrophy, entropy, and Proteus vulgaris, telling bawdy jokes about a farm girl named Vive and a traveling salesman called Lucifer. We bury your dead and their reputations. We bury you. We are the centuries. Be born then, gas wind, screech at the surgeon's slap, seek manhood, taste a little of godhood, feel pain, give birth, struggle a little while, succumb. Dying, leave quietly by the rear exit, please. Generation, regeneration, again, as in a ritual with blood-stained vestments and nail-torn hands. Children of Merlin, chasing a gleam. Children, too, of Eve, forever building Edens and kicking them apart in berserk fury, because somehow it isn't the same. Arg, 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 an idiot screams his mindless anguish amid the rubble, but quickly let it be inundated by the chanting alleluias at 90 decibels. Thank you. So now we're going to go on to reciting some of your wonderful work. So I'll just hand it over to Maeve to call you up to recite some of your work. So thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Bear with me, I do have a lazy tongue, so if I stumble on any of your names, I'm sincerely sorry, and if I mess any of them up, do feel free to correct me, because I do not have a phonetic reading next to the name, so I'm just going to have to guess here. But first off, we have Claire Conan with a poem, Mother Nature Wakes Me Up. I hope I got your name right. Claire, would you like to begin?
Yes, thank you so much, Maeve, and thank you all, the editors of this journal. You all are amazing, and I'm just so grateful that this journal is in the world, and just very grateful to be connecting with other poets through this. And also, Maeve, great job on my name, Claire Coonan. No one normally gets it gets it right. So thank you. So this is a poem. This is from my upcoming book called The Beautiful Keeps Breathing. It'll be out in the world next week. So Mother Nature wakes me up. Mother Nature wakes me up with the patter of rain, low drums of thunder. In rumbles, she whispers, receive my wonder. I open my eyes, curl toward the window, watch gray light seep between the blinds, listen in the stillness to the morning storm. The second before I rise, she flashes lightning with her question. Won't you soak me up, then return a drop of the kindness I pour out on this earth? I close my eyes, open my arms like a star savoring the shine. I reply with my outbreath, I will try.
Thank you so much, Claire. That was really beautiful. I really love the nature elements. That's, I hope you can tell from my poem, I really enjoy poems about nature. Next up, we have Sahana Bar and her poem Singularity. Sahana?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, first of all. And thank you so much to Poetry Lighthouse for making my dream come true. So I'm starting my poem, Singularity. Ah, what a bliss to retire myself from the day, trying to renovate the remains of what is left. After all, it's home, the place I love. Stepping across the holy threshold turns my intimidations into doves. The artful sensation guides me to my paradise, where I lie on my bed with my eyes wide open, thinking of a boatman rowing through the dampness of my eye, throwing nets around my pupils to catch the non-existing visions. I might stay like this forever. The river of my pen may end one day, but it will leave behind a hidden legacy that no one will ever know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sahana. That was really beautifully read. Next up, we have Johnny Day and his poem Life is on the Way. And I hope you enjoy.
Yep, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Yes, thank you to the Poetry Lighthouse and thank you to everyone who helped me through the editing process. I didn't expect it to be as, I've never really done it before, so I didn't expect it to be as informative and as helpful as it was. It also strikes me as just baffling how many different types of poem and poet there are. I've just started going out to read poetry publicly and it just amazes me. I keep thinking I know what poetry is and then I realize I maybe don't entirely. So yeah, thank you all. So I'm going to be doing a poem called Life is on the Way, and I wrote this when my wife and I were expecting our first daughter, who's now about 7 months old, and it was just about preparing for that and considering new life and perhaps its opposite as well. So this is Life is on the Way. Another day rearranging the flat. It seems we're never quite done. Just as dust is ever assembling behind, on top, and within the things we move. But the dust is flakes of us, and we will one day be done. And oh, how your ripening belly shines in the dusty sunlight. Yes, there is a purpose to all this moving, more so now because of the nesting, which is the third trimester calling on the mother to make the perfect space for the arrival of the child. And as we busy ourselves preparing for the thing we cannot possibly prepare for, dust is hard at work collecting in crevices and corners, on surfaces and doorknobs. and life is on the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Johnny. That was really beautiful. And congratulations on your new addition to the family as well. Next up, we have Louisa A. Igloria. And tonight I learn we live in a croissant-shaped bubble in space, which I think is a really creative title. And I love it.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you to Erwin and the entire team, the editorial team, for gathering us in the bright lights of the Poetry Lighthouse. It's an honor to read here with you. I live in Norfolk, Virginia, which is not too far from Hampton, where NASA is situated. This is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And in 2020, they came up with a report where they described the shape of the heliosphere surrounding our solar system. Tonight, I learned that we live in a croissant-shaped bubble in space. Would you rather be a landmine remover or a firefighter? Both involve risk of sudden explosions. Would you rather be a stuntman or sanitation worker? Someone has to jump the car wreck, then pick up the pieces. How about an oil rig worker, traffic cop, or Lego model builder, chocolate taster, or boulanger, which is a fancier term for bread maker? I learned the hard way that yeast can be killed if the water is too hot, that egg whites won't form soft peaks if the bowl is even a smidge wet. Think of how, for every job, someone must have had to practice countless times. The chemist figuring out the particle differences between poison and the benign. The podiatrist making copious notes on ingrown toenails and plantar fasciitis. Tonight, I learned that heliosphere is the name for the field in space in which our solar system is tucked, like a long sheet of cling wrap sheltering us from solar fires and electrical forces that would otherwise bend us out of shape or turn us into unknown mutations of ourselves. Scientists up the road at NASA are saying that this pocket holding us and other planets is shaped more like a croissant. I peer at the simulation image, which does somewhat resemble the flaky layered pastry which my husband loves so much, and which I can get free 4 to a box if I buy a tub of grocery store chicken salad. Curled up on its side, red lines stripe it like a Benetton would. Perhaps this represents that magnetic shield, and we are somewhere folded into the sweet, salty middle, all together with flowery constellations, while the oven temperature keeps rising.
Thank you so much, Louisa. That was beautiful. And what a beautiful way to look at the universe and the world as well. I really love that. Next up, we have PJ Lennox and their poem Dead Relatives. PJ?
Hello. Thank you to the Poetry Lighthouse team for putting on this event and having us all here. And also thank you to everybody here for sharing all their wonderful poems. It's been really awesome. My poem, Dead Relatives, is about a character who's learning how to properly mourn the loss of some relationships in life. And it's very special to me because I think it helped me learn how to do that as well. So, yeah. You held me in your arms. Time stood still for a year. There are things I think I learned, things I think that you learned here. But there's nothing learned from you, at least not at this place. When I need a hand from heaven, you stop time and brighten space. When we were just kids, you said, slow down, before you blow up. Look at me now. I don't do this for the glow up. I write my feelings down. It helped me learn how to grow up. Now I hurdle setbacks, just like a real grown up. On nights that are the darkest, the moon illuminates the dust on the frame of your picture. The stars are all that I can trust. They tell me that you're out there. They shout, keep trying. They whisper, proud of you. I can't talk back while I'm crying. Coming from a small town, everybody knows your dreams. You think you're planting flowers, but you're really growing weeds. There's never been a tree to bend down and teach a seed how to reach for the sun and grow into a sapling. You disappeared like a magician and told me the show was now ending. You say you had nothing left to show, but there's something that you're sending. By mail, it won't arrive until you're gone. Your greatest trick of all was falling down in spring and rising up again in fall. Doing what I want is not doing what I should. The times I really miss you, I wonder if you could warm my heart, make the fire flicker brighter against the softwood until I grow into adulthood.
Thank you so much, PJ. That was really well read, and thank you for sharing such an emotional poem with us. It was really heartfelt, and I think we all felt that. Next, I believe I am passing back to our lovely leader for the night, Erwin, who's going to guide us into a 5-minute break, I believe, and also share some more information about the Poetry Lighthouse. So take it away, Erwin.
Thank you, Maven. Thank you all for all those wonderful recitings. It was incredibly, emotional, and I really enjoyed every single one of them. Thank you so much to everyone. So we're gonna do a very short 5-minute break so that you can, if you want, take a drink, have a little bit of a rest. And in the meantime, during this 5 minutes, I'm just going to present to you some news for the Poetry Lighthouse. So first of all, I'm gonna share my screen. Right. I'm always having trouble doing this. I'm not a very good at technology, so bear with me. So what's coming up for the Poetry Lighthouse? Well, we have our first anthology. It's going to contain all of the poems from the long list. So everyone who was listed in the long list will be contained in this beautiful edition of our very first anthology of poetry. It will be out next month. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. This is the cover of the anthology. And yeah, I just cannot wait to have all of these wonderful poems collected in a single book that we can carry everywhere. So it would be a wonderful, and thank you so much. This wouldn't have been possible without all of your talented artistic skills that you have brought today with all of your wonderful poems. And this is really a gift for all of you and for the world to get to know your and your poetry. It's like leaving a mark in the world, and it's something that will obviously, I hope, will outlive us probably. And so, yeah, that is the first news. Secondly, we are going to start a poetry writing workshop for the summer. So if you're interested in enhancing your craft, finding new ways of writing, perhaps learning about new techniques, it would be perhaps something that you might be interested in. And so if you are, we'll be releasing more information about this on our Instagram. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested, I think it's going to be very lovely to work together and kind of have all these ideas. It's always really nice to create art together. It's always a really nice thing, and also providing feedback for each other. It's always great. As well, we are looking for editors to join us for our team at the Poetry Lighthouse. We have some wonderful volunteers, which are all here tonight with us, like Maeve, Libby, Alex, and James. And we also have some that weren't able to come today, but as well to Faye and to Andrin. Thank you so much for all of you for, because without this wouldn't be possible either. So thank you so much. And well, I don't know if that's that's the second emission. So it's time for us to go to the second section of this ceremony, and there will be more recitals. So now I will yield the floor to James, so he will be able to present the
Sorry,
next.
Owen, can you give me like 2 minutes?
Yes, no worries.
No
Okay.
problem, thank you.
Maybe it wasn't 5 minutes, or maybe it wasn't 5 minutes. So in the meantime, I just want to say that I'm just having so much fun tonight, listening to all these poems, because it's different reading them than hearing them from the actual poet who wrote it. So it's really nice how you inject your emotion into every single one of your pieces. So that's been wonderful, and I've been having such a fun time administrating and also editing every now and then a few of your poems. Thank you so much for submitting them to the Poetry Lighthouse and for trusting us in the editing process. I hope in the future this will carry out as well, and will continue to support many young and already established poets as well. So James, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready now. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. No worries. All right.
Yeah, so the first poem we're going to have is, oh yeah, forgive me if I get names wrong as well. I don't have phonetic pronunciation. So the first poem is Aileen Casinetto, All the Light This 1st of December.
Thank you, James, and the Poetry Lighthouse. It's such an honor and pleasure to be part of this event. I'm joining you from the San Francisco Peninsula, and I'll share a poem I wrote for a children's event last year. Thank you for publishing my work. All the light this 1st of December. Light up the night with the luster of 400 billion suns to bring home the lost, a host of names long forgotten. Adder, conker and fern, kingfisher, otter, wren, like us are made of star stuff too. On earth, we are all the light we couldn't see, making our way to each other, a quiver in a river of stars. Save a place at the table for one who is coming home. Say grace, a blessing over bread and doorstead and star-salted sky. Here's a lullaby of good tidings, a beacon, bright and bluish white, house full of light, a whole constellation. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. So next up we have Maya Anderson with Cultura Notes.
Sorry, just one small thing. I'm not sure if she's here.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on to the next person and come back to?
Yes, we'll do the next one. Yeah.
So next is Susanna. I cannot pronounce your last name. I don't think I'm going to even try for the fear of being offensive. So the poem is, "This land is my land, this land is your land." If you could let us know how to pronounce your last name, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, no problem. My last name is actually easier to pronounce than it's spelled. It's Semerjian.
Semerjian, where's that from?
I'm from Armenia.
Oh, okay. I've never encountered that. It's a lovely name though.
Okay, yes. Thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for reading your poems. This poem I wrote about my experience growing up feeling like the other. I grew up in Los Angeles, where it's very diverse, and when I went away for college, that was the first time that I experienced feeling like I don't belong in the United States. So here you go. Gonna start now. Your curvy roads make no difference. Engraved in me are your maps, sketched in the back of my hands in red, white, and blue. Early morning assembly, microphone in hand. I walked up in front, and 7-year-old me proudly sang, "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Oh, can you stay composed when out of nowhere comes a bang bang, 2 girls scurrying towards me as I walk to campus. I walked to the right, then swiftly to the left. We go right in this country, one of them said, as if this country belonged to her. Was it my dark skin or my headphones that gave her permission to possess this land? I contemplate whether or not to answer back. A smoldering inferno within me, trembling hands, mouth so tight, frozen in time. Today I sing. This land is my land. This land is your land. This land is my land too.
So thank you. That was a really, really powerful poem. I really enjoyed listening to it. Next up, we have Victoria Spears. Victoria Spears, Our Fragrance
Bias.
Wardrobe. Yes?
Yeah.
Take it away.
Thank you. I've never done anything like this before, so do bear with me. But thank you so much for the opportunity. It's really lovely to be here. So I'm reading this poem, which is about someone that I knew a long time ago, but it's also a little bit about how sort of bits of our personalities are fashioned from things that we take from other people. And it's called Our Fragrance Wardrobe. We favoured the woody, the green, fig saplings with their milky buds, uber moss, an understory of earth, incense on his skin, smelling sharply sweet in the sullen winter air. Spring was silver mountain water. We flirted with amber, reminds me of holidays in Cadiz, raisin sweet, Pedro Jimenez, sun-bleached squares, beers the same sepia tinge as the crumbling bell towers, cool, dank cellars out of the midday heat. Vetiver was reserved for autumn days, grey river walks, arm in arm, wool muffled against the fog. If I imagine him now, it's airy citrus giving way to bitter flint, leather satchel over one shoulder, hint of a wry smile as his hair flops, and away. I'm back in fig these days.
Thank you. That was so wonderful, and well done for your first time. That was really, really impressive. I'm
so
glad I got to experience it. So next up, we have Cassandra Bosque on the freeway.
Hello.
Hello.
Bosque, thank you so much for having me here. I'm honored to be included. And here's my poem, On the Freeway.
Okay.
Just now, with my dad, on the freeway I saw a baby raccoon, dead, a pathetic little pile of fur. And my first thought was, oh, poor thing. And my second thought was, I hate raccoons. And I turned away. And then I wondered if that is precisely the problem in our world. We drove on, and I saw, as my dad said, a recurring theme of broken glass. And I clapped my hands. and wrote that down, and then wondered if maybe that is all it all is anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was wonderful. So that's it for these recitals, unless we have Maya.
I would go. I emailed you last night super late because I'm
Hi,
in the
hi Emma. Yes, of course. Actually, because since Maya is not here, I would love it if you could read us your poem.
yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put us out of service,
No
so
worries.
I don't get a call in the middle, but I'll be like right back.
No
Okay,
worries.
thank you.
So is that the
That's all of the second
that's all of the
group.
second? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maja sent a text. She won't be able to make it.
Okay.
Yeah, her poem was called Cultural Notes, and it was about her experience in a sort of neo-Nazi attack, which was very interesting. You can go and read it on the Poetry Lighthouse website as well. Okay, so yeah.
Okay. I'm glad the city behaved so I didn't get a call. Thank you for this. The poem I'm reading is called Puzzle Pieces. And I wrote it last year when I was kind of like going through a weird time in my life, and I had moved in with my grandma for a second. So I wrote this for her. With my grandfather's firm shoulder and earth-stained hands, I was safe. With my grandmother's gentle smile and paint-stained fingers, I was loved. As a child, we would put together puzzles. I hate puzzles. I always get stuck. But with the encouragement and sparkle in your eye, I knew I could do anything. Become unstuck. I lost myself recently. A puzzle for adults. I was without a rope or net. I found myself craving to be safe and loved once more with a firm shoulder and a gentle smile. My inner child was weeping for the love of her grandparents. You reminded me that I could move mountains. I am forever grateful. Grandparents get you unstuck. Grandparents heal your inner child so they no longer weep for what we forgot we needed so many years ago. I will always keep my hands stained with the beauty of earth. I will always have paint marks somewhere on my body because life is messy. You taught me that. You taught me to see the beauty in the mess.
Thank you. That was wonderful. And thank you for taking the time to read it. Well, you seem very busy. Yeah, so I think that concludes part 2 of the recitals. Owen, if I hand back over to you, I think you have an announcement.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful reading. Unexpected because it was not in the planning, but I think it was perfect to fill up the gap. And that was such a beautiful poem. Thank you, Emma, for the wonderful poem. Yeah. So we're going to go to the second intermission. I hope I don't have a chronometer, so I hope it's 5 minutes. So you can go and grab a snack or something if you wish to. And so I'm just going to do another announcement for the Poetry Lighthouse. So, right. So we are now accepting, donations for this project, which is, not just the prizes, but also the whole website and the anthology. So because we run and we're all volunteering, obviously any donation is very well accepted, and we would thank you so much if you would be able to to help us out. For this is a project. If you support the arts and you support poetry, this would be an ideal place to to donate. So I have left the link over here, so you can. I've also shared it on the YouTube platform. So if you're on YouTube right now on the live stream, you'll be able to see in the comments below a link that will lead you to our Buy Me a Coffee webpage, which is basically a donation webpage where you can support us. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, I will leave a few minutes of for anyone who would like to talk to each other. I think it would be lovely. So you can unmic yourself, and just if you would like to say something, you could raise a hand, and I will be glad to give you the flow. And if not, we'll just move to the next. All right.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, I would love to read a poem if I can.
Sure. Yes, of course.
Okay. Sorry. I have a different one for so often. Sorry. Sorry. This is it. There's a horrifying realization that you had chaos in someone else's life, that you were always the villain, causing them pain and brokenness, that you were the haunting smile they couldn't seem to escape, the nightmare they felt trapped in, that you were the anchor of misery and sadness and you nailed them to it. And now, you just have to let them go. Even in every cell that makes you, you wish you could have been better. But history has already been written like a repetitive deja vu. A fairy tale mix-up, a role assigned from birth. The witchy feel of a stepmom, but never Cinderella. I was always the villain, because in every story, I was only written to bring you tragedy. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that reading. That was very wonderful as well. Congratulations for that poem. All right. So we're now ready to take on the third part of the recitals. They're so exciting. So next up we have Hameen Hassan. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Who's going to read Lingering Embers of a Farewell. So are you there?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Welcome. And
yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. This is my first time writing anything like this, and it was very nice having the help that you all provided. I'll just start. Friendship is not all that we have. We built our lives together. For a short, nevertheless, important part of it. When human beings were made of clay, we worked together to gather wood to make a fire. A small ember that slowly, with great effort, grew into a roaring fire. In the light of that fire, we saw flaws in each other. We helped one another fix the parts that were broken and accept the parts that weren't. We sat around a fire that was part of us. We laughed, we cried, we danced. We slowly hardened into the people we were always meant to be. I wouldn't be so arrogant to claim that by the time we left that fire, one by one, we became the people we were meant to be. But when we reach the next fire, surrounded by more people that we love, they will feel the warmth of our past. They will see the twinkle in our eyes, and they will know our fire too. We will never forget the impressions made on each other's souls by the people we love, because we've become the parts of each other that are the whole. Distance will not diminish the warmth of our fire, and time will not extinguish it. Like it or not, you are our family and we are yours. May we come to the same flame again someday. Thank you.
Wonderful. That was very tender. Very, very, very good reading. Thank you so much. So next up, we have Willow Heath with her poem, Bones. Okay. Are you there, Willow?
Yeah, I'm here. Hiya.
Amazing. Welcome to the Poetry Lighthouse. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm just going to echo what a lot of people have already said. This has been a really exciting and wonderful opportunity. And this is a poem that I wrote. It's a very queer poem as a celebration of identity, and it's called Bones. When the men of the future dig up my grave, they'll find the bones of a girl who didn't behave, the bones of a woman whose own life she saved, the bones of a girl who found ways to be brave. When the queers of tomorrow meet with my ghost, they'll know that she wandered from coast to coast, searching for those who would love her the most, all while being battered from pillar to post. They'll say she was looking for peace and for joy, that she wasted her youth acting like a boy, throttled and rattled like she was a toy, all for the crime of wanting to enjoy. A life formed from pieces she had to remake, all because her birth had made an honest mistake. And while there were those who called that life fake, despite jeers and jabs, they never could break the spirit of this girl who never behaved, of this woman who found a way to be saved, a woman who figured out how to be brave. That's what they'll find when they dig up my grave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Willow. That was such an amazing poem. I really, I remember the first time I read it on the Poetry Lighthouse, and yeah, it's very beautiful. It speaks a lot about, and I think a lot of people might feel, related to it. So thank you so much. Next up, we have Lily Nolte with her poem, Body Count.
Hiya, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'm in my second year of uni at the minute, and I wrote a little bit about like kind of my experience in like my generation and sort of kind of like the hookup culture of uni, really. That's kind of what started this poem off. But I just want to say before I start, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I've really enjoyed listening to everyone. I'm really excited to share my poem as well. Okay, so this is Body Count. Damned and encouraged to slip, bruising my hip on the sharp edge of your ego trip. The sheets smell like doubt, like aftershave. You run on half promises and unwritten rules, making knots in my hair as I lie there, watching you leave as I feel empty, staring at a map where a pin used to be because we weren't watching a film, were we? The film, the prize, the girl next door with naive eyes. My body was your gold mine. I feel washed up like something dead. This isn't about feelings, you said. Heart leaps, knees weak, all for the squeak of a cheap whiteboard pen on the wall in your hall's kitchen. Level up and onto the next. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this wonderful poem. It's a very, you know, kind of teenage. It really speaks to me a lot. With it really makes very vivid this image of the hookup culture, and I think it was a very lovely poem. Thank you. Next up, we have Anne Blakely Barloco. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, with her poem Dreaming.
Yes, you got the name correct.
Oh, great. Thank you.
First of all, I just like to say, Emma, puzzles make me cry, so I feel you. Also, when I submitted to Poetry Lighthouse, I didn't think I'd ever hear back. And I heard from Erwin himself, and I've been so excited to hear your poetry, and it really spoke to me. I'm French Canadian, and my dad lives in Mexico, and I live in the United States. And I get stopped every time I say croissant, or they make me say croissant. And people stop my conversations every time I say a. So anyways, this poem is kind of about how I feel like we're always pushed to really be something and stand out and be the best. And I feel like that just brought more harm to my life than just really loving what's around me and what's most important to me. So this is Dreaming. Dreaming is soured with pressure and soaked in pain. I feel manually programmed to be ungrateful and feel only shame, unworthy of praise till I desecrate my ordinary, delicate life, screaming in agony as I go through another phase. But I'm no dreamer. I want my boring reality. I want my eyes to close in delight as my fingers curl around the warmth and I breathe in comfort at morning's first light. I'll find meaning deeper than societal gloat. In the little things I will shimmer and do more than just stay afloat. I will feel my eyebrows curl inward and my smile lift my cheeks as I look at my husband once again, like my heart had just now felt that heat. Pure contentment will wash over me, seeing Leia's giddy wags get batted by my clumsy paws of our quirky kitty. It is in the day-to-day that our foundation is added, and that is my philosophy, as my simplistic life builds bridges to my heart. I no longer have to push myself, dreaming, until I fall apart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful and so beautiful. It really makes me feel like I'm dreaming. The title says everything. So wonderful rendition. Perfect. Thank you so much. And so with this, we conclude the recitals. And now we're gonna go for the exciting part as well. Well, for me, the whole thing has been very exciting, but I know you're all waiting for the prizes. So we're gonna go ahead and start with it. We're gonna have 3 different presenters for each of the prize. First going to be the 3rd place, and then the 2nd place, and then the 1st place. So James, are you there?
I am here. Yeah, sorry, my
Perfect.
laptop briefly crashed. I
No
have not
worries.
used this laptop since university, so I think that's a sign.
Right.
So yeah, just furthering what Owen said, like thank you guys so much for all your wonderful poems. So many different like themes, from nature to space to grief and identity. They were really, really powerful, and it was such an eclectic mix. And we had a really difficult time deciding on winners, reading through all your wonderful poems. But we have managed to narrow it down. So our 3rd place winner is Susanna with This Land Is My Land, This Land Is Your Land. Congratulations. It was one of the many poems that explored identity really powerfully, and that we really, really enjoyed, and how that intersected with history was really compelling. So congratulations, Susanna.
If we
Wow, thank
can,
you so
if
much.
just as we can give a round of applause for Susanna, very wonderful poem, and congratulations for this wonderful prize.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to submit the poem and to read it to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, so now we're going to go and move on to the second place, which is going to be presented by Alex. I'm not sure if he's
Hi,
there.
yep. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just to reiterate what everything's said, I've loved the poems. So it really hit me in an unexpectedly emotional evening. And yeah, just wanted to say, all of them have been fantastic. So don't take these prizes as a sort of some objective. They were just sort of the ones that hits right at the moment. So don't be discouraged either way. You've all done amazingly well. And I can only dream of someday writing poetry as well as all of you guys. So yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that point. Yeah, so anyway, without further ado, in second place, our second place winner, I have here as Louisa A. Igloria with Tonight I Learnt We Live in a Croissant-Shaped Bubble in Space. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Louisa. That was an amazing poem. And well, you're such a great inspiration for me and for so many people. Your poems have spoken volumes throughout for many years, and I really appreciate your work. So thank you so much for this wonderful poem. You definitely deserve it.
Thank you for this honor, especially in the Poetry Lighthouse community.
Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone. And before we go to the first, for the winner, so for the first prize, I just want to say every single one of you who have performed today have very incredible poems. This has been a very tough decision. We have had to have many rounds because sometimes the poems would get the same amount of votes. So it has been a difficult decision. So just the fact that you are here all tonight in this call, it means that you all have such a wonderful talent, and you should not, think of this prize as the only determiner of your talent. So without anything else, I think I'm going to go ahead for the third prize. But first of all, congratulations to everyone. You have all deserved this amazing spot at the Poetry Lighthouse, and that you will all be published in the anthology, which is already a very great thing, I hope. So here we go for the first prize. Okay. So the first prize goes to Cassandra Bosgate for her poem On the Freeway.
Thank you very much, and for everything you guys are doing. This is a very cool and important endeavor. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it's an honor.
Thank you so much. And well, yeah, that concludes our lovely evening of the prizes and of this poetry evening, it's been so lovely. Thank you so much for every single one of you for being here, for logging in, and for sharing your wonderful poems. This will be recorded. Well, this has been recorded, and it will be forever on YouTube. So thank you, everyone. That was wonderful. I just wanted to have a round of applause again for every one of you. It's very difficult to do it on the virtual thing, but congratulations to everyone. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to keep reading such wonderful poems in this upcoming year. There's so much talent in here with all of us tonight. And so I cannot wait to read more of your work, all of you. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm not really bad at ending conversations. So I can keep rambling the whole hour.
Before we sign off or anything, I would just like to thank Owen so much for leading the event tonight and planning everything and planning the entire website. It's been a tremendous thing for all of us volunteers as well. I think we've all really enjoyed the experience and working together as well and reading all of your guys' work. It's been amazing. I know that I have spoken to many of my friends about some of the poems that I have read on the website and I've edited myself. All amazing work. So just know that even if you didn't win a prize tonight, you are being read. There is exposure out there. And I think tonight has really summed up what the Poetry Lighthouse is about. This collection of people from all over the world, even virtual events now, where we can share poetry and really speak to every kind of human emotion out there, such a wide variety. So thank you, Owen, so much.
Thank you. And actually, thank you, all of my editors. And it's just wonderful. All of you have so much to give. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful journey with every single one of you. Thanks to you, we have been able to go through the many, many submissions that we get. So thank you for making the work variable and for, sticking with me. So thank you to all of you for all the editors. Wonderful job. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to meet the new editors as well and to introduce them to the team. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of the day. And hopefully we'll see you soon. I will be sending information to the winners by email, so that, for the prize. So thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
Thanks,
Bye.
Owen.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And congratulations again to the winners.
Thank you.
See you, everyone. That was really good. I'm still there.